All right, guys. So we're getting even more crazy news about the Big 12, Texas, Oklahoma. Well, more specifically Texas, but we're just getting more crazy news coming from the Texas Tribune. Now, this came out less than 24 hours ago. We're almost close to approaching that 24-hour mark, but still, Sports Illustrated reported that. That's how I kind of got the notification about it. But apparently, guys, Texas lawmakers are trying to make a bill to ban Texas or to ban Texas from going to another conference, which would be the SEC conference. Um, it's just this is just a crazy story. Now, listen, no one said it was going to be easy for the Texas Longhorns for them to go to the SEC. There's been rumor that they could maybe go even as soon as as soon as the 2022 season. There's rumor that they could potentially even go next season. Right, 2025 is probably the most ideal situation, only because that's when their contract officially expires. So after 2024, that's when they can make the move. But these Texas lawmakers are not happy. They're not happy at all. That Texas will be going to the SEC. Again, it's shocking news. Really, the only teams that really knew about it were teams from the SEC, and even teams like Texas A&M and Missouri. Those two schools are still not happy about the situation because they weren't notified. A lot of the other teams in the SEC conference were, but not those two particular schools. So the question is that can enough of these guys get enough votes for the bill to officially pass on, and Texas will have to stay in the Big 12? That's really the question. Can they get enough votes? Can they, right, in order for this stuff to even go through? I do think it's ridiculous that we have to kind of come to this. But at the same time, I do kind of understand because Texas is a huge brand. Texas and probably Texas A&M are two of the biggest brands right now in the state of Texas. And when you're losing when you already lost A&M, right? And A&M just recently, they're a huge brand, but they're a huge moneymaker, right? College Station, one of the biggest, if not the biggest campus in all of college sports across the world. And then you have, right, Austin, Texas, the Texas Longhorns. They're a huge brand. They're you can make an argument they're a global brand. To lose that to the SEC conference, it would damage a lot of the universities, other public colleges and stuff like that in the state of Texas, right? When you're talking about colleges like Baylor, TCU, was going to say SMU, but yeah, you look at Baylor, Texas Tech, TCU, right? A lot of these Texas schools that are in the Big 12 conference, they benefit off of Texas, right? Because of the Texas Longhorn Network, which the Big 12 does get some revenue from the Texas Longhorn Network, and of course the brand, how much revenue, marketing, how much money they get from the University of Texas alone every single year. It's right that them and Oklahoma are the two top schools in the Big 12 conference when it comes to producing the most revenue. And again, a lot of that money is being distributed, and I'm just talking about from the Big 12 of how much money they make every year. Even though last year I think they made around $490 million and the SEC blew them away, still a lot of that money goes to the other conferences, right? So a lot of these Texas lawmakers, they feel like if Texas leaves, it is going to negatively impact a lot of the universities or / colleges from the state of Texas, and they don't want that to happen. So overall wise, we'll find out more about what these Texas lawmakers, if this bill, which again has been created and they've already got some votes on it, is it going to continue to, right? Are they going to have enough votes that this stuff will block Texas from leaving? Oklahoma, we all know that they're gone. Oklahoma will be leaving. But now the question is Texas, can they move on? Or is this bill, right, this apparent bill, is it going to block them from potentially moving on to the SEC? We'll find out more about it. But again, these Texas lawmakers are not happy. And again, this is not just including Texas. This is including every other team that is in the state of Texas. So even if SMU even wants to make a move, they're not allowed to make it. They're not allowed to go to another conference if this bill is passed. So whatever the conferences that they're staying in, that they're currently in, they're going to have to stay in there unless they get approval, right? I forgot to kind of add that kind of asterisk, but they have to get the approval in order for them to move. And for the University of Texas, a lot of a lot of these people, guys, they will definitely not approve of Texas leaving for the SEC. They might approve some other teams, like maybe an SMU or right, maybe a Texas State or something to moving to another conference that can bring more revenue. But a huge brand name like Texas leaving for the SEC, if that bill gets passed through, they're not allowing that to happen. But anyway, guys, I really want your feedback. Let me know how you guys feel about this in the comment section below, and we can definitely discuss about it in the comments. But anyway, Jan Sports, like the video, share, and subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.